Now that we have understood the definition of the word marketing and also the origin of word marketing, let us try to lay the context of the entire concept of marketing as a subject. So let me draw your attention to the board. Like we discussed, we have a marketer, and this is the consumer. The marketer might be at location X and the consumer might be at location Y. Let's take for example Punjab and let's take Pune. These both are at a different place. The marketer has a product to sell or he has a service to sell. Can you think of something other than a product and service? Yes. Even ideas can be sold. Even experiences can be sold. Even a combination of products and services can be sold. The third component, product or service. So let's try to understand the buyer behavior of the consumer. Now, why is he called the consumer? Because he consumes the particular product. When the marketer is selling, for example, a soap, if you are the consumer, you will buy the soap and consume the soap. You will use it for bathing every day. So the soap will be consumed. This is how the economic churn happens. We consume products and services or a combination of products and services. Now, what kind of ammunition does the marketer have and what kind of strategies he uses for the consumer to align with the buyer behavior of the consumer? Let's try to understand that. There are 4 P's of marketing. This first P is the product. The second P is the promotion. The third P is the place. And the fourth P is the price. These are the 4 P's of marketing. In these 4 P's, the marketer will always try to strategize his offering across these 4 P's. And that is how he'll try to sell the products and services to the consumer. The consumer has a particular buying behavior. Consumers don't have to suddenly buy particular products and services. They buy it in a very systematic manner. But then the question arises, it will depend upon the product and service. Certainly. That's why we have a classification of consumer buying behavior. And that's what we'll discuss in this particular module. That consumer buying behavior is the way in which the consumer buys a particular product. But we have classified consumer buying behavior as per different type of products and services. Let's try to understand the large definition of consumer buying behavior and how they are classified. So when we are speaking of the consumer buying behavior can be classified into normal buying, hedonic buying, and utilitarian buying. What do you mean by normal buying, hedonic buying, and utilitarian buying? Let's take an example so that you will understand. When we go and buy a soap, or also let me draw a toothpaste. The question which you need to ask yourself is, how much time do you take to buy a soap or a toothpaste when you go to a grocery store or when you go to a mall? Less than 5 minutes. Why don't you take much time? Is it not important? Yes, it is. But the time taken by the buyer behavior is to just know the product and buy the product. So in normal buying, we know the product and we do the act of buying. This can be applicable mostly to FMCG products. FMCG means fast moving consumer goods. Toothpaste and soap fall into the category of fast-moving consumer goods. Companies like Hindustan Unilever, ITC, Procter & Gamble are the mega players which are in the FMCG segment. So the time taken to buy soaps and toothpastes is very less. The risk behind buying the wrong product is also very less. There's a lot of competition in the market, and the consumers always have a right to choose amongst different type of fast moving consumer goods. That's why such a kind of buying behavior of the consumer is called normal buying. Then what does hedonic buying mean? Imagine Mother's Day is coming. Because we love our parents and you would like to gift something to your mother. So you go to a showroom and you buy a nice diamond ring. Is this normal buying? Maybe not. Are you buying thinking about the price? Yes, but you're also feeling the product. You're feeling it more than knowing the product. So we feel the product and then we do the act of buying. This is different from buying a particular soap or buying a toothpaste. This kind of buying behavior, where you feel the product and do the act of buying, is called hedonic buying. So we have classified buyer behavior of consumers into three different types: normal buying, which we saw, and hedonic buying, which we also saw now. What is the third point? The third classification is utilitarian buying. So what is utilitarian buying? Let me ask you a question. At a particular age of your life, if you decide to buy a car, maybe a new car or an old car, what will you do and what will be the steps? Let me also advise that if money is not a problem, then how will you buy a particular car? First, you'll try to identify the need. For what you need the car. For a long distance, for short distance, should it be diesel? Should it be petrol? Should it be CNG? Should it be a sedan? Should it be a SUV? Should it be a MUV? These will be the options. For what purpose you require the car? For city travel, for yourself, for long distance travel, all these kind of things will come into your mind. Afterwards, you'll decide that, okay, let me come up to a particular model of car. Once you come to the model of car, what will you decide? Will you directly go and buy? No. You will go to the showroom and you will try to test drive that particular car. There will be a salesperson and you will ask him about the car. You will try to understand more about the car. Is this different from buying a soap? Certainly. The time you are investing in buying a car is far more than buying a soap. Also, the car has 400 components. It is made up of 400 to 500 parts. The car has varied features and every feature has an attribute. Let's take an example of a sunroof. The sunroof has an attribute. It's a feature of a car. A car with a sunroof will cost more than a car without a sunroof. So, you are investing your time in trying to understand the different attributes of the car, the different features of the car, and how that feature can help you and match your particular need. This is exactly what the consumer is trying to do. So the buying process of utilitarian buying products is long. It might be lengthy. And if you are indecisive in nature, you will take a longer time than the person who is having a clear line of thought. So coming back to the example of buying a car, you will go to the showroom. The salesman will show you a particular model of car, maybe Maruti Suzuki. You will see a particular car. And in that you will see different variants of that particular car. Maybe the lower variant, maybe the higher variant. Why do car companies have different variants in the same model? Because everyone needs different kind of attributes and features in a car. And they can sell a car based on different variants because they cater to different target segments. And this is the strategy which marketers use. So after you go to one showroom, would you buy the car from there? Necessarily not. You will remember that, okay, there is one more car company which is selling a similar kind of SUV which I want to buy. Let me go and see over there. You will see there. So first you go to Hyundai, then you will go to Kia, then you will come to Maruti, then you will come to Skoda. All these cars are in the same target segment and in the same price range maybe. Once you will go to all the showrooms, you will test drive all the cars. Also, you'll do one more thing. While doing this parallelly, after going home, you will try to find reviews of people on those cars. You will also go to a car mechanic and ask, how is the Maruti Suzuki car? I want to buy that particular car. Then you will again ask, what is your opinion about the Hyundai cars? What's your opinion about the Kia car? This comparative analysis you will do. And what you are trying to do is evaluate different type of products based on their offerings in your mind. And you want to pick and choose. or cherry pick rather the best particular product which will add significant value to your life. What I mean by value is the product should be an exact match to what you're looking for. If you want a car for long distance travel, the car should be safe, rugged, spacious, and it should match what you want to see in the car. So we understood that in utilitarian buying, we do three things. You know the product, you feel the product, and then you do the act of buying. So we understood that in normal buying, you just know the product and then you do the act of buying. The time invested is less. In hedonic buying, you feel the product and then you do the act of buying. It is more about the feeling and the emotion involved in buying a particular product. The third is a utilitarian buying category, in which you know the product, you feel the product. What do you mean by feeling the product? You are test driving the product. While you are test driving the product, you are experiencing the product. When you are driving the car, during a test drive, the car is speaking with you in the silence. And it is passing a message to you whether you like the car, how are you feeling driving the car, are you feeling safe, how is the grip on the road. This is feeling the product, and then you do the act of buying. Utilitarian buying requires more time, and this requires more steps. So if you understand, this is the beauty and classification of marketing, that they have classified consumer buying behavior into three different types: normal buying, hedonic buying, and utilitarian buying. And we will further go into the next topic, which is buyer behavior, which can also be classified into B2B. So we saw here the buyer behavior with respect to consumer buying, that is B2C, where the car company is a business and you are a consumer. So this is B2C buying, where the business is nothing but the car company which is trying to sell you a car. And the C is nothing but you, who is the consumer who wants to buy the car. So this becomes B2C, that is business to consumer or consumer buying behavior. Now let me meet you in the next topic, which is business to business, that is business buying behavior. We'll cover that soon. See you there. Thank you.